Hello, welcome to Chapter Book Storytime. I'm Ellen from EVPL Oakland Library, and on today's edition of the Variety Pack, I have a dog story for you, full of action, adventure, and friendship. The story of a boy and his dog. Or should I say, a dog and his boy, because it's Rebel, the dog, that tells the story. The story is called 𝐼 𝐴𝑚 𝑅𝑒𝑏𝑒𝑙 by Ross Montgomery. Let's get started. The book is divided into several parts, and each part is one day. And each day is made up of several chapters, and each day has a title or a name to it. The first part is called The Last Perfect Day. Rebel will tell the story. Chapter 1, Home. The day begins exactly as it should. It's summer and dawn is poking its nose through the curtains. Our bed is still warm with the night of sleeping. I can hear a cockerel crowing outside in the farmyard. I can smell bacon downstairs and hear the clatter of pans on the stove and Tom's mom and dad talking to each other in soft, sleepy voices. I know from the moment I wake up that today is going to be perfect. Tom is still snoring beside me. I stand up, shake out the last dregs of sleep, and snuffle over to him. He always smells most like himself in the morning, groggy and warm and sleep drunk. All of him Tom. That's my first job of the day. Wake Tom up. I do it by licking his face. I love licking his face. It's the best bit of the day. Ugh, Tom groans. Yuck, Rebel. That's me. I'm Rebel. It's the name Tom gave me. He wipes the slobber off his face and hugs me close to him. I love it when he does that. Silly old dog, he mumbles. At this point, I should probably mention that I'm a dog. But I'm not an old dog. I'm only 5. And I'm not silly either. I am a good dog. I know this because Tom tells me I'm a good all the time. And Tom knows everything. Anyway, we can't stay in bed like this. We have so many things to do. Usually I wait for Tom before I go anywhere, but the bacon smell means that there might be some rind going spare in the kitchen, and I think it's important for me to find out. I jump off the bed and run downstairs and skitter across the tiles. There's Dad sitting at the table, already dressed for work on the farm. I sniff his clothes as I run past, all rich with the smell of sheep's wool and sour milk and mud. I like that smell. Mom is hard at work by the stove, wiping her hands on her apron and shifting a big copper kettle. She smells of tea and soap and potatoes and porridge and mutton and gravy, all mixed together. I like that smell even more. Ah, Rebel, Mom tuts, shooing me away. Take this and leave me alone, will you? She picks something out of the pan and tosses it on the floor. Bacon rind! Yes, 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 yes! I snaffle it straight off the tiles, smoky rich and succulent, crackling with fat and hot enough to singe the tongue. I was right. I knew that today was going to be perfect. Tom comes downstairs, rubbing sleep from his eyes. We sit in the happy fug of the kitchen and eat in silence till the day could begin proper. I'm not allowed to beg at the table, but if I hide under Tom's chair, he secretly feeds me scraps of his breakfast without Mom and Dad knowing. It's the best bit of the day. Thank you for doing this, I tell him. I love you. Tom doesn't understand me when I talk. He thinks I'm just barking or growling or whining. But on a deeper level, I think he knows what I'm saying. It's like how I can tell he loves me when he scratches my head or pats my sides and smiles at me. It's always been like that. We've never needed words. The cockerel crows again and Dad gets to his feet. Right, come on, lad. Let's not let the best of the day get ahead of us. Dad says that every morning. All right, Tom sighs. He says that every morning, too. He shovels down the rest of his breakfast and we race outside together. And there it is, in one big, beautiful moment. The sunrise over the fields, the first smell of the farmyard, the first fingertips of wind across the mountains, the whole length of day spread out before us. It's wrong what I said before. This is the best bit of the day. The first moment I see the farm and remember how lucky I am to be here. I love the farm. I've lived on it every day of my life, ever since Tom found me as a puppy and brought me home to live with him. I've never left it, not once. I've never even been through the front gate. Every day on the farm is the same as the one before it. First, we go to Bottom Field and see how the sheep are doing. Tom and Mom and Dad are sheep farmers. Tom says that around here, everyone keeps sheep. People make clothes from sheep's wool and sell sheep's milk and cheese to get by. It's gotten harder to do that over the past few years because of all the taxes the king keeps collecting. Tom and Dad get milking and shearing while I bound around and see how everyone is doing. Morning, Agnes. How's the hoof, Beth? Looking good, kitty. Hungry, the sheep reply. Hungry, hungry, hungry. That's as far as the conversation goes. The sheep don't have much to say for themselves, but I'm happy to chat anyway. It doesn't cost anything to be polite. I know I'm not much of a sheepdog. I'm small, and I've got stumpy legs, and I can't run very fast, and my bark isn't scary. Dad always says that he wishes Tom had found a proper dog instead of a scruffy stray like me, but I know he really doesn't mean it, because whenever no one's looking, he scrunches me behind the ears and whispers that I'm the best dog in the whole wide world. Bottom Field is where I usually find Priscilla, dozing under a tree. Priscilla is the farm cat. She's not allowed to go in the house. If she does, Mom chases her out with a broom. So she's lived outside her entire life. She smells like dust and old flowers. Morning, Priscilla, I say cheerfully. Go away, she mutters. Priscilla is always like this. Nice day for it, I say. She opens a yellow eye and glares at me. What's nice about it? I have to stop and think about that. Everything? Rebel, come on, Tom shouts behind me. Tom needs me. I'm a good dog, so I always come when he calls. I start running toward Tom and Priscilla gives me a knowing laugh. Yes, off you go, farm dog. Your master's waiting. I stop. I hate it when she says that. Tom's not my master. Really? Well, then how come you do everything he says? Priscilla sighs and stretches lazily. Poor old Rebel. Not much going on upstairs, is there? Ha! Priscilla is so stupid sometimes. There aren't any stairs in this field. I dart after Tom, laughing all the way. After the milking and the shearing are done, Mom brings us lunch. Actually, it's just for Dad and Tom, because dogs don't have lunch. I know this because they keep telling me to stop begging and leave them alone. Lunch is always chunks of cold pie and fresh apples and sour sheep's cheese, and it smells so good. Tom will wait until Dad isn't looking and then toss me some so I can eat it. He's always thinking of me. He's so clever. I love him so much. After lunch, we move the sheep from Bottom Field up to Top Field because that's where the best grass is. Tom's job is to stay with them until sunset to make sure they don't escape or get stolen by thieves or eaten by wolves. I stay with him even though I'm frightened of wolves because that's my job. Wherever Tom goes, I go too. I'm his dog and he's my boy. I would die for him if I had to. Soon Dad heads back to the farm and that's it. It's just me and Tom and the sheep now for hours. We can do whatever we want. First, I find a stick and drag it over for him to throw. Tom sighs. Rebel, why do you always have to choose the biggest stick you can find? Just throw it, I mumble through a mouthful of stick. Get a smaller one. I do as he says because I'm a good dog. Tom picks up the stick. You want me to throw it? Yes, please, I say eagerly. This stick here, he asks with a grin, waving it. Really? My tail wags furiously. I love it when he does this. Yes, throw it now, please. Are you sure? This is so good. Yes, yes. All right, stop barking. Tom throws it and I bring it back, and we do that over and over again. Sometimes Tom chases me and sometimes I chase him. Sometimes I'll run around on my own barking because I'm happy and it feels good to run, but mainly because it makes Tom laugh. And that's the best sound in the whole world. Afterward, I lie on my back so Tom can scratch my tummy. I love it when he does that. Little Belly, he says fondly. That's his special name for me. It's a bit like Rebel, but it's also about my tummy. Tom came up with that. He's so clever. Me and Tom, just the two of us. Now that's the best bit of the day. I mean it this time. After that, we settle down until evening. By now, the sun is sinking over the mountains, ripening the sky in reds and purples. You can see the whole entire world from top field. All the other houses and farms stretching right up to the mountains. Tom pulls out a sketch pad and charcoal from his knapsack and starts drawing. He loves drawing. His pad and charcoal go everywhere with him. I lean against his chest and drink in his warmth while he smudges out a new picture. See, Rebel, it's you and me climbing that mountain. Tom always draws me and him together. That's the way it's meant to be. He talks as he draws, the words coming as easily as the lines come out on the paper. He's happiest when he draws. Even more Tom than when he's asleep. They say there's a waterfall on the other side of that mountain, even bigger than the one in Brenock. They say wildflowers grow on either side of it like a carpet, stretching to the sea. Daisies all the way down. Can you imagine that, Rebel? I can't imagine it. I've never seen a waterfall or the sea. I've never left the farm. I don't even know what a carpet is. Tom has never seen the sea either. The farthest he's ever gone is the market in Connick. He always talks about the different places he'll visit one day, but I don't think he means it. Why would he leave when everything we need is right here? Then Tom stops drawing. It takes me a moment to realize that he's seen something. Through the trees in the distance, you can see a little stretch of the road to Connick. There are two men walking down it. They're both wearing golden jackets, and they both have shiny black boots and shiny black belts. They're both carrying muskets. It's the King's Guardsmen. You often see them patrolling the roads in 2s and 3s like this. Tom once told me that they're checking that everyone on the road has a permit. He said that if you don't pay the King's taxes on time, the Guardsmen take away your permit, which means you can't use the roads, which means you can't sell at a market, which means you make no money, which means no bacon at breakfast. That's not all the Guardsmen do. They make sure that no one ever leaves their home at night. They make sure no one says anything against the king either. If they find out that you've been bad-mouthing him, they take you away and you don't come back. I've heard Dad and Mum talking about it in hushed voices when Tom's not in the room. Mum and Dad say that it didn't used to be like this. Before the king, folk could say whatever they wanted. But then the king took over and decided that he needed everything for himself. There were people who tried to fight back, called the Reds, but they were no match for the Guardsmen with their guns, and they all got taken away. So now no one fights back, and the Guardsmen patrol the roads, and that's just how it is. I hear a sharp, brittle snap beside me, like a tiny bone being broken. Tom has gripped his charcoal so hard that it's crumbled to ash and smeared black powder all over his lovely picture. Aw, heck, he mutters crossly. Tom, dinner! I hear Mum before Tom does because my ears are better than his. I run around and bark because this is very, very important. All right, he murmurs. Calm down, Rebel. I can't be calm. I won't be calm. Our work is over. Now, the best bit of the day, the real best bit, can begin. Tom gathers up the flock and drives them back down to Bottom Field. I charge ahead, my nose raised until I find the scent I'm looking for. And there it is, weaving out of the chimney like a golden ribbon and twisting across the fields toward me. Stew, lamb stew, glossy, rich lamb stew, simmering on the stove with skin on top. Lamb stew with carrots and gravy ladled into thick stone bowls. Lamb stew means lamb bones. Lamb bones means bone marrow. And bone marrow means amazing, delicious dinner for good dogs like Rebel. I was right all along. Today is absolutely perfect. By the time Tom catches up with me, I'm already scratching at the farmhouse door and whining. He pushes it open and I scramble inside. The kitchen is golden and glowing with the smell of lamb. I run to my bowl and there it is, a lamb bone plucked straight from the pot, crowned with steam and glistening with blobs of fat. I'm so happy I spin in circles and lick every inch of the bone. Stew, 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 stew. Stew again, is it? Says Tom with a sigh as he slumps into his chair. Hush, chid's Mom, hitting him lightly with a spoon. You're lucky we have anything. There's plenty around here that don't. I know, Tom says quietly. Guardsmen were on the road earlier, Dad says, eating cheerfully. Mum shrugs. They're always on the road. Oh, but never this often. Not so many, not around here, so far from the high castle. Dad scrapes his bowl with his spoon. Something important must be happening. All that'd make a change, mutters Tom. Eat your stew, snaps Mom. Once dinner is over, that's us, done for the day. I scamper upstairs before Tom so I can warm the bed for him. It's another one of my very important jobs. Tom follows more slowly and takes off his work clothes before flopping into bed beside me. He doesn't blow out his candle right away like he normally does. Instead, he just stares at the ceiling. Daisies all the way down. He's thinking about sad things again. He's doing that a lot nowadays. I snuffle closer to him so he knows I'm here and that I'll always be here because I'm his dog and he's my boy and I love him. He places his hand on my back and the soft weight of his palm is the most perfect weight there is. When Tom's breathing becomes slow and steady and his body sinks soft in the bed, I know that my day is finally done and I can go to sleep like a good dog. I was wrong about all those other times. That's the best moment of the day. Me and Tom, back in the blankets, safe and warm, knowing that today has been kind to us and tomorrow will be just as good. Now we have everything we need, and we always will, because nothing on the farm will ever change. Why would it change when it's already so perfect? So that's what Rebel thinks is a perfect day. But did you hear some little undertones that things might not always be so perfect on the farm? The fact that they all have had lamb stew a lot lately, and the guardsmen, what about them? They sound pretty serious. And the king, things have changed since the king came into power. As we move on to the next story, things are going to change pretty quickly, whether Rebel wants it or not. The next part of the novel is called The Day It Changes. Chapter 2, Intruders. I know that everything is wrong from the moment I open my eyes. Someone is shouting downstairs, a man. I said you don't have a choice. I jumped off the bed and scrambled downstairs as fast as I can. I don't recognize this voice. That means there's a stranger in the house. I have to get rid of them. I have to protect Tom. When I get downstairs, Dad is standing beside the table with his hat in his hands, looking small and frightened. Mom is pressed into the corner of the kitchen, glaring at the intruders in the house. There are two of them. One is standing, blocking the doorway, and the other is leaning back in Dad's chair, his muddy boots on the table and his musket resting in his lap. They're both wearing jackets made of gold and cloth. Guardsmen. I sense right away they're dangerous. The one in the doorway looks like a slug. The one in the chair looks like a rat. They both smell mean and wrong and bad. I know what guns can do. I've seen Dad kill rabbits just by pointing the barrel and pulling the trigger. I growl at the men, and Rat whips around in the chair, fixing me with his mean little rat eyes. Get that dog out of here, he snaps. Dad nods quickly. Oh, yes, sir, right away, sir. He tries to drag me back by the scruff of the neck, but I keep growling and pulling against him. I can't let Dad take me away. I have to get the danger out. Rebel, no! Tom bursts into the kitchen behind me and scoops me up in his arms. He glances around, confused. What's going on? Mum points at the intruders. They want more taxes. That's what's going on. Tom grows pale. But we've already paid for this month. Not anymore, you haven't, says Slug with a smirk. New orders from the king. Double taxes. Tom splutters in shock. We don't have that kind of money. No one does. The two guardsmen chuckle. Tough luck, Sonny, says Rat. No taxes, no road permit. Starve if that's what you want. I can feel Tom squeezing me tighter as he grows angrier. You can't do that. Dad stops him with a wave of his hand. We'll pay up. Just give us a few more days. Glad to hear it, said Rat Stands and shoulders his musket. And while we're here, we're looking for a man in a wolf skin. He's been spotted in the area. He's dangerous, a troublemaker, wanted by the king himself. Anyone found harboring him will be shot on sight. No one has anything to say to that. Rat nods curtly to Slug, and they turn to leave, the squeak of their polished leather boots cutting through the silence. We'll be back by the end of the week, says Rat over his shoulder. Make sure you have the money. The last farmer that refused had his house torched and his fields salted. He's halfway out the door when Tom finds his voice again. You won't keep getting away with this, he cries. Sooner or later, people are going to make the king pay for what he's done, and then you'll be sorry. The room freezes like a startled cat. Nobody moves. Then the guardsmen turn to face Tom. What did you just say? Slug's voice uncurls like an eel from a cave. Sounds like red talk to me, says Rat. You're a red boy? Calling your dog rebel and talking treason? Dad jumps in front of Tom, panicking. No, he's just a stupid kid, a boy. Rat shoves Dad aside and leans in close to Tom. I can smell the menace thrumming from him like a hot iron. I'm terrified, but I've got to be brave. I have to protect Tom. I bark and bare my teeth, but the guardsman just keeps staring at Tom. How old are you, boy? 16? People always think Tom's older than he is. Mom says he's tall for his age. 12, he whispers. Rat smirks. You know what we did to the last red we caught? Shooting him would have been a mercy, boy. Think you're old enough for that, do you? Tom shakes his head. Rat nods to Slug, and a wordless message seems to pass through the air between them, because Slug instantly walks to the crockery cabinet and raises the butt of his musket. No, Mom cries. Slug brings the musket down and smashes all the plates inside the cabinet. Every single one. Dad rushes to Mom, holding her back while she clenches her fist, and tears run silently down her face. Rat doesn't take his eyes off Tom the entire time. When Slug is done, Rat turns and strides out of the kitchen, crunching shards of broken crockery beneath his boots. End of the week, he repeats, or the tax is tripled. Slug spits on the floor and then follows him out of the farmhouse. Tom finally releases me and I tear after the guardsmen, barking at their backs as they stalk away from the farm. I can't believe what just happened. I'm shaking all over with fear, from my head to the tip of my tail. I didn't protect Tom when I should have, but I can protect him now. I have to make sure the guardsmen never come back. I bark and I bark at them, but they don't even falter. They just keep strolling away as if they have all the time in the world. My voice sounds small and hollow as it echoes through the farmyard. As you can see, Rebel is not getting his perfect day. Dad and Tom argue. Dad yells at Tom for talking back to the guardsmen, but Tom says we have to fight. When are we going to stand up to these guardsmen? We have to. The rest of the day is miserable. The sky is glum and heavy with clouds, and Tom and Dad won't speak to each other. Dad keeps his head bowed, and Tom keeps his mouth clenched. Once the sheep are up in top field, Dad storms back to the house, and Tom sinks to the ground like he's been carrying big, heavy rocks. It's all up to me now. I have to cheer Tom up. I have to show him that underneath the bad, things are still okay. There might be clouds in the sky, but the sun's always shining behind them. I bring him a stick, and Tom doesn't want to throw it. I try running around and barking, but that doesn't work either. He isn't even drawing like he usually does. He's just staring at the mountains in silence. "It's not right, Rebel," says Tom quietly. "This is our land. We can't let the king take it from us just because he wants to." He points ahead. "You see that mountain?" "Of course I can. It's the biggest mountain you can see from top field, the very last thing the sun touches." "The high castle is on the other side of that mountain," says Tom. "That's where the king lives. They say everything inside is made of gold. They say you could sell a tenth of it, and it would feed the country for a whole year. But the king keeps it all for himself." I can feel him getting angrier and angrier as he talks. He grabs his charcoal and pad and starts drawing swift, furious jerks across the paper. "I've seen pictures of it," says Tom. "It sits at the end of a long, deep gorge. It's got 5 towers, and the king's flag flies from the tallest one." It's a good sketch. They always are. The high castle is broad and strong, filling the end of the gorge like a cork in a bottle. But Tom doesn't stop there. "Old Laurie says that one day the Reds will rise up again." His eyes burn as he draws. "Men and women and children from across the country will come together and throw the king out of the high castle once and for all." I like old Laurie. When he comes by the house, he always has something tasty in his pocket for me. But I didn't know he was saying these things to Tom. Mom and Dad are right. Tom could get in big trouble for talking like this. He keeps sketching, filling the gorge with thousands of people holding sticks and pitchforks. It's the best drawing he's ever done. "When the Reds win, old Laurie says they'll fly a red flag from the top of the tallest tower. Then everyone will know the king is gone and his army is defeated and the country is ours once more." Tom draws himself standing on top of the tallest tower, waving a flag at the cheering crowds. He picks a berry from the ground beside him and squeezes it, smearing its red juice on the flag to color it. He draws me standing next to him, just like he always does. Then he stops drawing and gazes at the mountains. "And then we'll be free," he says, his voice almost a whisper. "We'll be able to go wherever we want, and no one will stop us. We'll never have to pay taxes or go hungry or bow to anyone ever. That's quite the drawing you've got there." We spin around in shock. There's a man leaning over the fence at the point where the field becomes forest. The trees behind him are deep and dark. He has a scar over his left eye and a dusting of white stubble. The skin on his face is as rough and worn as an old oak. And his whole body, from head to tail, is covered in the pelt of a wolf. Do you remember what the guardsman said? They're looking for him. He's up to no good. He's up to trouble. And they're looking for him. This is the man. His name is Ryder, and he's the leader of the Reds. He's out recruiting. They want to start their rebellion as soon as they can to defeat the king. And he invites Tom to join. Ryder looks Tom up and down. "How old are you, boy?" Tom hesitates before he answers. 16. 16, and I'm a poodle. I bark at Tom reproachfully, but he doesn't even notice. Ryder seems happy with the answer. 16. The Reds could do with a few smart 16-year-old lads like you, not just as soldiers either. He nods towards the drawing again. People need to see what's possible. A picture like that could change people's minds faster than words can. And I do believe you have a gift for that, mister. He holds out his hand again, and this time Tom takes it. Tom. My name is Tom. I whine from the pit in my stomach, sticking close to Tom's heels and nudging him to make him stop. This is bad. Tom is shaking hands with a Red. If the guardsmen saw him now, they'd shoot him on sight. What's Tom doing? Why isn't he running? Ryder hunkers low over the fence, drawing Tom even closer. There's a round ring of birch trees 20 minutes north of here. Know the one? Tom nods. By the river. That's right. There's a meeting happening there in an hour for all new recruits. You coming?" He grins at Tom just like a wolf, full of hunger and cunning. Tom pauses for a second before he answers, I don't know." Ryder's expression changes instantly and his voice becomes a growl. "Oh, I thought I could trust you, Tom." He leans back from the fence, breaking their tight circle. "If we can't trust each other..." Tom panics. No, I'll come." Ryder grins again. "Glad to hear it. I'll lead the way." And he nods at me. Maybe you should leave your dog behind. He's a yappy one." I growl. I do not like Ryder. Tom takes one final look at me and starts to climb over the fence. I bark angrily. Tom can't be serious. He can't leave. We have to look after the sheep. "No, Rebel," Tom says, shooing me away. "You have to stay. I'll be back soon, okay?" "Stay? Of course I can't stay. Who'll protect him if something bad happens? I can't let him do this. I can't let him leave." I bark and whine, jumping up and scrabbling at his leg. "No," Tom snaps, pointing behind me. "Stay, Rebel." I can't believe it. Tom wants to go without me. He wants to leave me behind. But I'm a good dog, so I do what I'm told. I give him my best cold, hard stare, then sit down beside the fence. Tom stands halfway over it, looking guilty. That's a good boy, Rebel." My tail wags. He's right. I am a good boy. Rebel waits and waits for hours in the same spot because he's a good dog. He waits long past supper, long past dark. The sheep are hungry and cold, but still Rebel waits. When he finally returns, Tom and Rebel get the sheep into the barn and go into the house, where Tom has a terrible argument with his parents, especially when they see the red handkerchief in his back pocket. He's been with the Reds, and his parents are so scared for his life. Don't you know what happened to people who join the rebellion or the uprising? What are you thinking about? It's such a heated argument that at the end, Tom just shouts, "I hate you," and he runs upstairs. The next morning, Tom comes downstairs, and Rebel begins to think that maybe things will go back to normal, because Tom tells his parents he was just being silly, he was caught up in the moment, he's not going to join the uprising. Don't worry about him. And so the same as always, they take the sheep to top field, but as soon as Tom's father leaves them, he ties a red kerchief around Rebel's neck, and he leaves him and says, "Stay." Rebel can't believe it. Tom has left him alone. The next section is called The Worst Day. Chapter 8, Choice. I don't know how I make it through the next day. I wake up in bed alone. I slept here so I would be near Tom's smell, but it's not the same without him. The room feels cold and sad and empty. Mom is downstairs by herself. There's no bacon at breakfast and no Dad. He left late last night to look for Tom and still hasn't come home. Mom's face is red and puffy from crying. Everything is wrong. Everything is different. It's awful, awful, awful. I pace the house until Dad comes home. He looks exhausted. He's walked all the way to Connick and back, but he says there's no sign of Tom anywhere. He barely talks after that. Neither does Mom. They both smell like sadness, a scent that clings to them and doesn't let go. I whine and paw at Dad's feet. The sheep have been out in Topfield all night, and no one's brought them back down. But Dad doesn't even notice me. He's staring at the table, looking at things that aren't there. I can't bear it. I leave the house and walk around the farm in a blurred haze. The weather is perfect. It's another pure and beautiful day. The farm is at its very best, and Tom isn't even here to enjoy it. He's gone, and I don't know where he is. This is already the longest he and I have ever been apart. Then all of a sudden, I catch his scent on the wind. For a moment, my heart leaps. Tom's come back. Then I realize it's just the scent he left on the ground when he walked through Bottom Field yesterday. I press my nose close to the earth and drink it in. There he is, pressed a million between a million other smells. His hair, his skin, the charcoal under his nails, and the conkers in his pockets. All of him. All of Tom. Tomorrow, or the day after maybe, the scent will start to fade. It'll be worn down by wind and rain and scrubbed to nothing. I followed the scent up to Top Field. The sheep are still there, bleating miserably. I stand by the fence where I last saw Tom and gaze into the forest. It looks so deep and dark in there. I can't believe I let him go alone. I feel a flash of anger at myself. Why did I let him go? I should have found a way to make him stay. I should have showed him how perfect everything is on the farm, made him see how he never needs to leave it, not ever. I should have done something. I know exactly what to do now. I sit on the grass, facing the trees, and I wait. What on earth are you doing? Priscilla is sprawled among some wildflowers nearby, gazing at me in disgust. I'm sitting down, I say. Priscilla really is stupid sometimes. I know that, she mutters, licking her paw. I'm talking about that silly red rag around your neck. It takes me a moment to realize what she's talking about. I'm still wearing the neckerchief from yesterday. Tom gave it to me. Mum and Dad are too sad to take it off. Why don't you take it off? Because Tom gave it to me, I repeat, and I'm going to wait here wearing it until he gets back, so he'll know I stayed, like he told me to, because I'm a good dog and I love him. Priscilla gawks at me. Then she rolls in the wildflowers and howls with laughter. It's the first time I've ever seen her really laugh. What's so funny? I ask. Priscilla stretches, turning her body into one big curve. You might find you'll be waiting a rather long time, she says curtly. I fume. I don't care. I'll wait as long as I have to. A whole day, 2 days even. Priscilla looks at me in surprise. Wow, you really don't understand what's going on, do you? She sits up and faces me. Tom has joined the Reds. The Reds are going to rise up against the king. It could become a war. You know what war means, don't you? When people fight each other. Not just fighting, rebel, Priscilla says more gently. Dying. People die in wars. No, I stammer. Tom wouldn't do that. He wouldn't die. He might not have a choice, rebel. The awful truth begins to dawn on me. Tom might not be coming back soon. He might not be coming back ever. I'll never see him again. We'll never chase each other and play with sticks and lie in the sun. I'll never hear his voice say, "Little Belly." His bed will always be cold and his chair will always be empty. His smell will fade like morning frost. Priscilla sighs with pity. Listen, farm dog, I know we've never gotten along, but I'm going to give you some advice. She prowls toward me. Forget about Tom. Forget about being his dog. Don't put your love in humans. It never works out. Just be you. You're young enough to change. She nods toward the farm. You have a great deal here. You have food, someplace warm to sleep. The farmer will look after you when you're old, and then you'll die happy and well-fed. That's worth more than you might think. I shake my head. It won't mean anything. Not without Tom. Priscilla rolls her eyes. Good grief! All this for some master? He's not my master, I shout furiously. He's my friend. He needs me. Humans don't need dogs, rebel. Tom does, I shout again. He needs me to be there when he's sad or frightened. He needs me to make him sit down and look at the sunset sometimes. He needs me to remind him how beautiful everything is. She sighs. Humans need more than that. No, they don't, I say. They think they do, but they don't. Priscilla gives a sorry shake of her head and turns away from me with a flick of her tail. Very well. Then let me leave you with this, farm dog. If Tom really is your friend and not your master, then why are you still obeying him? With that, she slinks gracefully down the hillside and out of sight. I stay where I am, staring at the forest. I want to tell Priscilla she's wrong. Tom has never been my master. He is my everything. He's my nights and my morning and all my hours in between. But I know deep down in my heart that she's right. I am still obeying him like he's my master. Waiting here might make me a good dog, but it's not going to bring him back. If he really is my friend, then I have to protect him. I have to fight for him. I have to show him how much I love him. I have to save him because he saved me. So I'm not going to do what he told me to do anymore. I'm not going to sit and stay like a good boy. I'm going to get him back. And off Rebel goes to find Tom. He goes through the gate, something he's never done before, and up into the woods, following Tom's scent. And when he can't find Tom's scent anymore, he remembers something Ryder said when they first met. He follows the sheep trails in the mountains to avoid the guardsmen on the road. And so, with the help of a friendly pig named Seamus, he finds the sheep trails, and off he goes from village to village, following the rebellion, following the soldiers who are on their way to High Castle to defeat the king. It's a great adventure with a lot of new friends that he makes along the way, a mouse, a donkey, and another dog named Jackson, who shows him the ways of wild dogs, the ones that have no master, and to take him to the High Castle. It's a great story, a lot of fun, and I really like Rebel. He's such a sweet dog, and he has so much love for Tom. I hope you read it to find out what happens to him. This is called 𝐼 𝐴𝑚 𝑅𝑒𝑏𝑒𝑙 by Ross Montgomery. This would also be a great family read-along if you do that with your family. So this has been Chapter Book Storytime. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.